Hey there, Frankie here. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I figured that I would catch you guys up. It's been a minute. Last time I did a video was before my surgery, and my surgery was on November the 13th, Friday the 13th of last year. So it's been a minute, so I figured I would catch everybody up and let y'all know what's kind of going on with me. Um, first things first, I did have surgery. Surgery went amazingly. No longer have a chest. It's only t-shirts and shirtless, actually, for me. I don't wear shirts much around the house, and it's super nice to be able to just put on a shirt and go and not have to worry about binders or strapping down or anything along those lines to try and get rid of what was there. The inside is finally starting to match the outside, and it's so nice. So I walk different, and I dress differently. My clothes fit differently, and I smile so much more now. It's pretty damn amazing. So again, a huge thank you out to everybody that helped to donate to make that possible. Next thing on my list would be to get my name change done. I still have a legal name of Francesca, which it's fun to hear people say. On my driver's license, it actually does say male, so I'm a man named Francesca, and it's funny for people to do that second look with me when they see my driver's license. So that's next on the plate. I did have a talk with Dad about, if he was okay with me changing my name to his, because that would be the best thing in my life, and a complete honor for me to take my father's name. So Francisco would be my chosen name. So Francisco, Frankie, Frank, anything along those lines. So I'm working on that. That's a lot of steps. So I've got to go through the FBI, the CBI. I got to get fingerprints made, Social Security, all that other good fun stuff. So it's a big long list, and it's kind of expensive. So I'm waiting probably mid-year to kind of start making those steps, because once you make those steps, once you take that first step, you have 90 days to get all of the background stuff done. So you literally have to time it right in order for that, to make sure it all clears. So that is in the process, like I said, sometime mid-year. But I don't get misgendered anymore. When people look at my driver's license, like I said, they just do a double take, and they're just kind of like, okay, and I'm like, yeah, I go by Frankie, and that's pretty much it. So that's definitely not a big, huge issue for me. So most people look at me now and sir, he, anything along those lines. As you can see, I have a lot of facial hair going on me, and I'm definitely a fuzzy guy. Dad told me when I came out, which I'll go back and tell you about that whole thing here shortly. When I came out, Dad told me that he was going to warn me, because it was going to turn into a furball if I was anything like him, and he wasn't kidding. I'm turning into a fuzzy guy, so it's kind of funny. October came around, and that was Dad's birthday, and I hadn't come out to my parents yet. So I told myself when I went there that this was the time. It had to be done, because with all of the changes that are happening with me, as far as my voice, as far as facial hair, as far as my chest and everything else, it wouldn't be fair of me to, one, not tell my parents, and it wouldn't be fair of me to deny myself being myself. So when I went home in October, I shaved and took off all of the growth that I had on my face, which was so hard for me to do, because I look so different without facial hair. It's kind of creepy to me, and it was dishonoring. So I shaved that last time. We went to Deadwood for his birthday, as we do every year, and I had to figure out the right time to tell him. So as we're driving out there, I'm trying to figure it out, and we spent the whole entire time there. And I remember my mom saying, "You have a cold?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of got a tickle in my throat." And I flat out know it was a lie. No, I'm on testosterone, and my voice is dropping for that reason. But it wasn't something that I could say. So we came home from Deadwood, and we got home on Sunday morning, and I decided to tell them separately. Um, I pulled Dad aside and took him downstairs, or pulled him aside and said, "Can I talk to you for a second?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And we went downstairs, and I said, "So I kind of have to fill you in on something, Papa." I said, "I am and have decided that I am going to transition, or sorry, I am transitioning into a male. And I haven't told you because I was afraid of losing you. And I haven't told you because I couldn't, I can't see my life without you. And I'm terrified to lose you now, but I have to tell you because I'm not being me, and at some point you're gonna see it because I can't shave my face every single time I come out to visit, and I can't hide the changes that are happening within me. So I'm sorry that I haven't told you, but if I lose you, I guess that's the choice that you make." And Dad looked at me and he said, I know that you are." And I just looked at him, and he just looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, "I love you, and I will always love you, and you're my daughter." And all of a sudden he's like, "You're my son." And I just lost it. He goes, "That's gonna take me some time. You do understand that?" I go, "Dad, I get it. I can't even believe that you're saying this now." And it floored me, and Dad gave me a hug, and he said, "I love you, and you're never gonna lose me." At that point, I could never have loved that man even any more than, I mean, it's impossible to put the words into action on how much that moment meant to me, and how much I love that guy. I mean, seriously, he's been nothing but amazing. Um, so then after I told him, I said, "All right, now I gotta go tell Mom." And he's like, "If she accepts it, she accepts it. If she doesn't, oh well." He goes, "You've always got me." And he goes, "It's gonna take time, but who knows?" And I agreed. And so I went upstairs, and I pulled Mom to the side, and I said, "I know you're on Facebook, and I'm sure you've probably heard that I am transitioning into a male." And she said, "Oh, I've heard it, but I know it's a lie. I know it's just rumors." And I said, "Actually, Mom, it's not rumors. Um, it's actually true. I am transitioning into a male, and I shaved when I came here this time, but I won't shave again, and I won't hide who I am. So I just have to make sure that you know." And she turned around, and she just looked at me and said, "Why didn't you tell me?" She's like, "Why didn't you, tell me before you did all of this?" You know, I don't know what to say about this, and I basically said it wouldn't have mattered whether I would have told you then or whether I've told you now. It was something that I was gonna do and something that I had to do for me. I said I am, over 40 years old, and I've got to start living my life the way that I want to live my life, and I have to start honoring me for being me. Whether I would have told you then or told you now, it wouldn't have made a difference. And at that point, she basically said, You're. Oh, I said, sorry, I will, hold on. I said, So I understand how hard this is for you. You're losing a daughter. And she said, I'm not losing a daughter. I'll never lose a daughter. I had a daughter. I will always have a daughter. She goes, I didn't have a son. I won't call you he. I won't call you him. You're Francesca. You're my daughter, and that's it. And she was crying. And I said, Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. And I know that this can't be easy. Um, but Francesca, she's not here anymore. And she cried, and I gave her a hug, and I said I was sorry, and that was pretty much it. I mean, that was all that was said. And I'll never forget that moment when she told me that, you know, I'll never accept it. And it broke my heart, but I kind of expected that. I expected that I was going to keep my dad and I was going to lose my mom. I hoped that I was going to keep my dad, and I figured that I was going to lose my mom. So, anyway, that was it. I went home. And then in December, I went home for Christmas, and this was the first time I went home with facial hair. And she could barely look at me. She hardly talked to me. I took some pictures with her, and she could barely even smile. It was like she was disgusted being next to me. So it was pretty hard. So Christmas went and came and went, and I just went home this weekend. So this weekend was different. It was eye-opening. I went home, and now, so before I went home, just so you know this part, Dad's been calling me son, he's been calling me mijo, he's been, all of it. Like, there's been times where, he's messed up and said mija or she or whatever, but he always catches himself. Always catches himself, which is pretty awesome. So, went home, and Friday night we went to Keno. And in Scottsbluff, that's kind of one of the things to do. And my dad loves to gamble, so we went and played Keno, and he introduced me as his son. And he, not didn't skip a beat. But the part that was different was that my mom called me he, and my mom said him, and she kept catching herself, and it was pretty awesome. I can't lie, it was pretty awesome. So it means that she's actually accepting me. It means that she's trying. And it means that I now have full support from both of my parents. Even if it isn't completely like 100% support, it's support. So I haven't lost my parents, and that's pretty cool. So I know that was long-winded, but it's a pretty important moment in my life, so that one I definitely wanted to share. So I'm pretty happy about it. So past my parents. Let's see what else is going on besides the facial hair. I'm gaining quite a bit of muscle mass, which is pretty awesome. So I'm bulking up quite a bit. Work's been going great. Honestly, that's pretty much all I've got. I mean, that's the biggest moment in my life that's been going on is my family. So it's pretty great when you know that you can just be you with the people that are supposed to love you, and now they show that they really do. So that's pretty awesome. Um, that's pretty much all I've got right now at this point. Uh, yeah, I got no more. I'm sitting here trying to think, but I honestly have no more. So yeah. Anyway, I hope that you guys are all doing well. I hope that you guys are all smiling and you guys are all feeling loved. Um, know that I love you a ton and a bunch, and I am grateful for the support that I get from you guys every single day. Every time that you guys send me out and I love you, or anytime I get a smile, just anything, you guys are awesome, and I appreciate how much you guys support me, every single one of you. So, on that note, I love you all. I love you a ton, and I hope that everybody's well. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.